you of course returned to screen after War, and War was such a big phenomenal success. Can you take us back to the time when the film became what it did? What were the advices coming your way regarding choose this one next? What the people around you who were advising you that now that this has become so historic, your next should be better or bigger?
No, I haven't had anyone giving me that advice.
In terms of the conversations that you were having with people, industry, otherwise, that fans' reaction that they think this should be your next now.
No, no. I don't know what to say other than no. That's not something that I experienced after War. I think maybe that's because I automatically hold myself, very, very responsible for doing my very best, and I think people somewhere know that, so they leave me to it.
But did that add pressure?
Pressure?
Yeah, in terms of...
War put a different kind of pressure. It was so much adulation for Kabir that I got lost. I didn't know where, what I should take and what. It was a very confusing time for me because, wow, this is, I can't go very deep into it, but I was kind of little lost actually, because I was getting a lot of love for something that I was not. So it was time for me to realign with the person I am, and to fulfill myself as Hrithik, because if I constantly keep filling myself up through the love for my characters, I'll constantly in my real life also try and be that, so that I keep getting the love. I need to be comfortable being me, and it's okay that I'm not as good as Kabir or Veda. I'm not that guy. They're all, it's handmade character, I may sit and make it. It's not me. That's my work and it's my job, and it's so important to demarcate and differentiate me as a person from the person I am and the persona that I project on screen. If I don't separate the two, I'll live in chaos. I'll always live as a hungry soul, trying to get the applause all the time and trying to, portray all of that in my real life, and that'd be traumatic.
Hi, Hrithik, this is Priyanka. Hi, Pushkar.
Hi.
You said that how you want your characters and who you actually are to be kind of distinct and separate. But when you are not on screen, people want to experience you through those characters. People keep revisiting your work. But there's also this thing about fans that why can't we see him faster, quicker? Especially at a time when we have more options perhaps as audience now because of OTT. So there are more actors, more content. So I think for you I know people have written this about you a lot, that you largely, focus on one project at a time. But today in 2022, do you sometimes feel that maybe I'll be quicker in coming back to screen or doing films in succession?
I want to do more films, I just don't find the content. Right, you guys, best minds that I have come across. Such incredible writing. If I get writing like this, I'd do like 4 films a year, 5 films a year if I could. I'd do them all. But I am a slave to my instinct, and my instincts are determined by how impactful the script has been on my soul. So I am really, it's not my decision. I just can't tell you that, okay, I'm going to decide to do 4 films or 2 films. It really is, unless I'm not doing it for the money, so it's something that I have a choice about, so I have to really, I'm in the hands of the writers and the directors. So fingers crossed, maybe I may get lucky again.
No pressure on us.
Thanks, thank you.
All right.
Hi Pushkar guys, hi Hrithik sir. This is Farhan from telechaga.com. First of all, congratulations. The movie is creating a buzz all over social media. So my question is, Hrithik, to you is, if when was the first time you have seen the original Vikram Vedha, and if yes, what did you had to learn or unlearn from what Sethupathi has did in that movie, suiting the Hindi belt?
So I saw the film in 2017 when it came out, and I was blown by it. I just thought this is incredible, and I also expressed a desire that karni hai ye film yaar. I want, if there's a remake happening, I'd love to do this film. So I'd sent that out to the universe, and I think 3 years after, it circled back to me, and I did not approach this film in terms of what I should do or what I should not do in context to what has been done. I just liked this character, and I found that character inside me. And then I just had to play it out like how I would do it. There is nothing more that I can do. There is really nothing more in our hands but to do the best, in our potential. That's all you can do. So that's all you have control over. So that's what I've done.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Hi, Samir here from Movie Talkies. My question is to Pushkar and Gavin. As you can see, there is a Ravana's effigy on the poster, and we have that, Vikram Vedha as an ancient story. So, what was the thought process of, putting these two ancient stories into the film, the Vikram Vedha and the characters?
So, just like I told a little before, just an insight into where this started from. It was one of those completely useless conversations which you have at like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the night when you're not able to sleep. So me and Gayatri were talking about, there are all these films about right and wrong, but nothing about the space in between. As in, we were trying to start with this idea of not black versus white, but a person who sees in black and white versus a person who sees in grey. In that conversation, which is thing which will just end up in like one philosophical note, that idea of Vikram Vedha popped up. Of, hey, you remember that stories which we have read as kids, didn't that have that idea of like that moral ambiguity being there? So that was the trigger. So we started from there. Vikram Vedha was not something which was forced onto the script. That's literally where everything started from. Then you build on that.
And after that, actually, it went through like various versions, like, should we set it in world of politics or business or, all those kind of things. And we wanted like harder emotions, like harder emotions. So the cop and the gangster word kind of lent itself to.
And many drafts later, we started discovering who Vikram is and who Veda is and all that. So, that process is long drawn. I mean, I'm sure there are people who write much faster and write much better. It's just that for us, that grinding
faster maybe, not better. Faster maybe, not better.
Thank you.
Hi guys, Jansatta here from Times Now. Hrithik, I have to say this to you, I've met you as a fan, but you're the reason I became a journalist, so this is like a very momentous thing for me, and I owed it to myself to tell it to you. But of course, asking you the question, you've spoken a lot about how you choose your projects, how you only pick things that you can't say no to, but then there is this, that there are a lot of films coming in, and new films coming in won't stop. So at any point, do you feel left behind as an actor, because you do it for the love of the craft? So do you have that feeling of, I don't know, I mean, how do you think, but do you ever feel left behind as an actor in everything that's happening?
How can I be left behind when I am the only one on my path? I'm walking alone, as are we all.
It's a Mars line. It's a Mars line.
So I don't, there's nobody else, it's just me. And I have to live my days to the best of my ability. That's it. Nothing else to think about.
But how do you look at it in retrospect, if I have to ask you that?
It's worked for me.
Clearly.
It's worked for me. So yeah, I think I'm just going to continue to do that. Just follow my instincts.
Thank you.
Hrithik, my question is to you. I'm Sharik Sheikh from Indian Express Online. So I just wanted to ask you that nowadays South films are being running more in the box office and in theaters. So do you think that in future, if given an opportunity, you will go for South film also?
I am open to films of all kinds from every part of the world. I would like to collaborate on any and every good content. So it doesn't matter where it's from. I'm a student of cinema, so cinema can be from anywhere. That doesn't matter. But I think post-pandemic, we are at a time where we have to sit and really take this amazing feedback that we are receiving from the audience. It's a time to recalibrate. It's a time to grow. It's the most incredible phase that we have. It's an opportunity, and I look at it as as it's a positive thing, because the world is now, our audience now is exposed to the best works from all over the world in theaters, on OTT. So obviously the tastes are becoming better, and we have to now recalibrate, and it's through this feedback that we will grow into better. So it's a damn good thing that's happening.
Hi Hrithik sir, Himesh this side from Pinkvilla. Hrithik sir, when you launched Alcohol, your song, you said you walked into Gaiety as an audience and came out feeling the love. Basically, you came out as a superstar. But even before the release of Kaho Na Pyare, the industry had expectations of you being a superstar. And now 25 films later, there is Vikram Vedha, wherein there are a lot of expectations from the film and you as an actor. So the two questions to you are, number one, how do you cope up with the expectation that people have from you? And how has the feeling of that Friday changed for you from Kaho Na Pyare till now, the release date?
Well, let's put it like this. At that time when I was starting out, I was probably aspiring to be a star and to be acknowledged with that kind of success. Today, what I aspire for is the success as an actor. I want to know that I have grown. I want to know that I have been able to satisfy my directors. I want to know that I have been able to satisfy my audience in terms of my job. My job is not to be a star. My job is to be an actor. And I think that's the difference, that's the change.
And how has the feeling for Friday evolved for you? Like, how do you feel before a Friday now?
So, I'm it's a self-compliment, but I have always been very aligned with my movies. Before the release of a film, if I'm nervous, that means that the movie is good. And I'm nervous. So let's see.
Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Hi Hrithik sir, hi Pushkar sir, hi Gayatri ma'am. Aishwarya here from OTT Play. My question is to Pushkar and Gayatri. So majority of films made show a black and white, like you mentioned, they show that. But Vikram Vedha aim to break that monotony. So while writing these characters especially, how did you, what was the process to not make them into an antagonist ideally?
Okay, so in writing itself, that split between a protagonist and antagonist is based on a very Western ideal of storytelling. That is not something which is there all over the world. There are many cultures which where the storytelling is very different, and India is one of those places. You take any of our actual mythologies, any of our big epics, right? They are never written as protagonist versus antagonist. They are not written in 3-act structures. These are concepts which we have learned over the years from Western storytelling. So it is not something we are breaking. The system to break it is something which we all know. I mean, it's because we grew up on these stories. It's just tapping into that. It's just tapping into that vein. So we are not reinventing a wheel. We just found that one little wheel which was lying on the side and said like, oh, okay, nobody's using it. Let's try to quickly pull it towards us.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Pooja from Leisure Bite. My question is to Hrithik sir. As you said, you choose films that connect with you. So what is it? What are those elements that make you say yes to a film and that turns you off? And over these years, what do you think should change when there are movies that are making? What is it you think is still the same and that should change now?
Okay, one at a time. I will answer the first one. And that was what makes me
Say
What
yes
makes
or
you
no.
say yes and like what are the elements that why should I do this?
If I had to analyze, it could be the emotional impact that the film has made. So one is to say that this really touched me, and one is to actually have tears. So you know that it's touched you. You can feel it. So I look for that. I look for scripts that change my state, that affect me on a cellular level. It needs to change my vibration, and not just, it can't be a calculated thing. This scene will make people cry, or this scene will make people laugh. Are you laughing? Are you crying yourself? Because if you're not, they are not going to laugh or cry. So a lot of times we see something and in reference we think, this will be sad, people will like. This will be funny, they will laugh. Have you laughed? I think that's the way we should judge if a script has touched us or not. So I always am very careful of that. Is it changing my vibration or not? And Vikram Vedha, when I saw the film, it didn't just change my cells, it blew my mind. I had not, and it still blows my mind. I've done this film now. I've seen it multiple times, and I still watch it with, and I'm discovering new things every time I see the film. And every time I see the film, in the middle of the film, I want to ask you some questions. After the film, I forget. Next time I'm going to sit with a notepad. I swear I'm not joking. So it is such a complicated script. I don't know how they've written it in the most simplistic manner. It's entertaining. I don't know. Where did you start? What's the first thing you did? Did you get the end first? Did you get the middle first? It's such a, I'm not trying to blow our own trumpet, but seriously, this is a film that you can actually do a proper case study on. Like, what was the process of the genesis of this script? How did it come about? It's incredible.
Hi Hrithik sir, Akriti here from Absolute India News. Hrithik, prior to this interview, you were telling that it was after Kabul you got to explore your shortcomings, maybe you acknowledged it. I want to ask you, looking at Vikram Vedha, it explores grey shade of a person, like it's not black, not white. How relevant it is to explore that dark side as a human and on professional or personal front, I would ask you.
The short answer is that we have to be in acceptance of who we are, what we are, and not dismiss any side of ourselves. And that's it. Once you are in acceptance of everything that you are, you just, it's the better way of living life. And when you see this film, yes, Vedha is the bad guy, but there are sensitivities that are built into him which make him very, very human. And he's actually in acceptance more than anybody else. He's in acceptance of who he is. And that is in itself inspiring.
Pushkar sir, Gayatri ma'am, I have a question for you as well. Vikram Vedha is a successful film in Tamil as well. How, what were the pressure points maybe for you guys to make it into Hindi, to go with casting? Like, how was this whole process for you to work on the film again for a different set of audience?
I think it was pretty much the same pressures as making any film. You still have the same things. You have to finish that much shooting in a certain day. We have Hrithik on board, but yeah, you still have to finish that scene on that day. You don't say like, okay, I'll just get into the next day kinds. So actually, in that way, all filmmakers, all directors face the same battles. I don't think it being an adaptation. One thing they say, is that if you're remaking the film, actually, a lot of our friends said, "Why are you guys working so hard for this? You already done it once. You just have to shoot it again." It doesn't work that way.
Imagine that.
Then there's no fun for us also. And like the whole idea was to reinterpret the text with a new set of actors, and that journey has been beautiful. I mean, like, okay, when the film comes, what happens is another thing, but the journey has been wonderful. Discovering different facets and how to play it and how to interpret it.
And one thing about Vikram Vedha is a lot of you seeing the trailer would peg it as an action-heavy film, but what was actually more complicated for us was the storytelling part of it, because there are these scenes between Vikram and Vedha, not the action bits, but the scenes, the narrative scenes, which were complex from an emotional beat point. So the beat keeps changing every minute. You have like a new beat has to be played. So those were the complicated things to shoot. The drama was, which is the most important point of any film. That is something which we spent a lot of time on. So in that way, I think it's the process of making a film which has a certain joy to it, a certain effort which you need to put into it, and all that was there in spades.
Thank you.
Hi Hrithik, this is Ravi Jain from ABP News. Hrithik, हर किरदार अलग होता है, हर फिल्म अलग होती है, लेकिन कुछ आपने ऐसी फिल्में की हैं, जैसे कि अगर मैं क्रिश की बात करूं, जिसमें आपका जो किरदार था वो उसका जो मैनरिज्म था वो बच्चे की तरह था। काबिल आपने की जिसमें आप एक ब्लाइंड शख्स बने थे। प्रोफेसर आप बने थे सुपर 30 में आनंद कुमार, और अब इस फिल्म में गैंगस्टर बने हैं। तो ये जो 4 फिल्में जो मैंने नाम ली हैं, उसमें आपका मैनरिज्म जो था, जो अपीयरेंस है और मैनरिज्म जो है वो आपकी बाकी की फिल्मों से अलग था। तो मेरा सवाल ये है कि जब आप कोई फिल्म साइन करते हैं और जब उसमें एक अलग तरह का गेटअप लेना होता है या मैनरिज्म अलग होता है, जैसे कि इन 4 फिल्मों में था, तो क्या आपको स्क्रिप्ट साइन करते वक्त ज़्यादा सोचना पड़ता है, ज़्यादा आप वक्त लेते हैं इस तरह की फिल्म साइन करने में जहाँ पे आपका मैनरिज्म अलग होता है, एक्सेंट अलग होता है, गेटअप अलग होता है?
नहीं, इनफैक्ट उल्टा है। एक बार जब स्क्रिप्ट मैं पढ़ता हूँ एंड इफ इट इज़ अ काइंड ऑफ स्क्रिप्ट दैट आई कांट से नो टू, तो उस स्क्रिप्ट का जो इम्पैक्ट है, उस इम्पैक्ट का लेवल जो है वो डिसाइड करता है व्हाट माय नेक्स्ट एक्शंस आर गोइंग टू बी, एंड एवरीथिंग गोज वेरी ऑर्गेनिक। तो आप अगर दूर से अगर आप देखोगे तो इट लुक लाइक आई एम डूइंग अ लॉट ऑफ वर्क परहैप्स, लेकिन मेरा जो काम है इट्स सो ऑर्गेनिकली फ्लोइंग, बिकॉज स्क्रिप्ट का जो इम्पैक्ट है उसने मुझे इतना बड़ा धक्का दिया है, द पुश इज सो मच दैट आई एम जस्ट गोइंग इन द फ्लो। और मैं हमेशा हर पिक्चर को आई बिगिन द फिल्म knowing that I am zero, and I have to now build from scratch, which is why I'm perhaps able to find a new body language or way of talking for each of my characters. और उसमें कहीं करने से मेरी जो खामियां हैं वो छुप जाती हैं, because I adopt this, I adopt that, and I make something that I think will be more acceptable to the audience more than what I am as a human being. So I think that is the process.
पुष्कर और गायत्री से भी मेरा एक सवाल था।
Hey.
What was your perception before directing this movie in Hindi about Bollywood? What was your perception about Bollywood before you came here and you actually directed a movie, both of you?
I mean, like black and white, gray, we don't kind of ascribe to tags like South Indian, Bollywood. So generally we keep it open, like
So,
whoever we meet, we try to keep it as open as possible.
A lot of people we know work extensively over here, like our DOP Vinod. He's shot a bunch of films. He does so many ads over here. So the thing is, the cross pollination between the states has always been happening. It's only over the past 1 year, 2 year, all this talk about it has been happening. You take Manigandan, Ravi Varman, all these DOPs have come from either Tamil or Telugu or Kerala. We have so many actresses working in the South. So it's always been a very collaborative, fluid way of working within these different pockets. So we knew what was happening here. We know what's happening here. People here know what's happening in Chennai. So it is not like a culture shock. It is not like, oh, this is a whole new world or anything like that. It is the same world in any industry, mainly because cinema is one place where everybody who is working there is working for passion. Very few people are actually working for money. Everybody is in cinema because they love cinema.
Like even take your drivers who regularly drive for films. They are also,
Wait, and you guys are also like that. You guys write about cinema rather than anything else because you love cinema. Everybody who's associated with it loves the art form for a particular reason, which is very personal. And that is something which you will not see in most other industries. Since that is common, you can literally work anywhere in any cinema industry, anywhere in the world and see the same kind of people. Because passion driven.
So right.
Hi guys, this is Rohit Bhattacharya from Free Press Journal. Congratulations, first of all, trailer is looking really nice and it's easily one of the most anticipated films of 2022. My question is to all three of you. We are in a time where social media has become the deciding factor for any film. There is so much written and said about the actors, directors, writers. How do you take this current scenario? Also, my second question is, are you concerned on that front in the terms of the content is king, we all say that, but the social media is so much invaded in our lives that it takes the film away?
No, I have an answer to this, which we've talked about before also. So if you take 15-20 years back, films were judged by 6 people, 7 people, the film critics who would have a column in one of the major newspapers. Since social media came in, it's a democratization of reviews. Now everybody who has access to an account, has access to a phone, puts their thoughts down on social media. Now you can look at it and say no, critics need to be there with a certain level of education in that art form, which is what is expected for somebody who's reviewing, say, a painting at MoMA or a music piece at Juilliard. But cinema is something which has to connect with whoever is seeing it. So whoever is seeing it has a right to put his opinion out. So you have to just think of it as all those people are actually contributing to talking about cinema.
And for all the negativity which happens, the word of mouth spreading in social media is huge. Like for a film to pick up will take a long time. Now if it is good, if people like it, it is like just click of a button.
And we've seen that through our
word
career.
of mouth is also, so that's a huge advantage. That's
Right.
So there'll be people who pan it, people who love it, but hey, at least we are hearing what people are thinking rather than it just being a very small subset who get to write in a newspaper.
Yeah. Hrithik, what do you feel?
I agree. I've never seen social media as something that is a negative. It's always been a positive because you have to have your own filters. You have to have the ability to control your the way you respond or the way you react. So it is actually a really good arena or playground or a mental gym, to see what you actually react to, how aware you are that this is a reaction and this is a response. So it's a place you can actually use to grow. So it's never been a bad thing for me.
मेरा सवाल पुष्कर जी और गायत्री जी से है। हमने कई बार दक्षिण भारत की फिल्मों का रीमेक यहाँ पर देखा है, उसमें वहाँ के एक्टर्स स्टार्स की जगह पे हिंदी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के स्टार्स होते हैं, कुछ इक्का दुक्का सीन अलग करके, बाकी कई बार तो फ्रेम टू फ्रेम कॉपी होता है, उसी तरह से रीमेक्स ज़्यादातर बनते हैं। विक्रम वेदा की अगर बात करें तो इसमें कितना % सेम टू सेम स्क्रीन प्ले कहें या सीन्स कहें या ये किया गया?
स्क्रिप्ट एकदम सेम है. It is the same script. कई setups will also be the same. क्योंकि it was written that way. It was written with a certain idea to it. So in that way, we have not fundamentally changed the script for the sake of changing the script. We'll change this one scene over here and change that one scene over there and say, hey, it's a brand new film. No. Our initial idea itself was, if we were going to do it, then we need to approach it with a certain angle of when a person like Hrithik interprets Vedha, when Saif interprets Vikram, there is one new magic which is going to happen. That is that magic we are looking for. Because everything else is actually just cosmetic change. What's if to make it not look like an adaptation of another language film, you do these little things which is a cheat. We didn't want to go for that. We wanted a new air into it which the actors bring, and how that air changes the stage. That if we can capture, that is this film.
Hello everyone, I am Divya from India Films. So first, Hrithik, my question is to you, that in one of your interviews you had mentioned that after your film like Kabil and all, you have been choosing your roles, like you are thinking much on the scripts and you are ready for taking risks as well when it comes to the content. So are you still comfortable going in the same phase, or with the whole scenario of how audiences are seeing the films, you want your films to be more commercialized?
No, what I meant was that I am going to take risks. I meant I am going to get more comfortable with my flaws. I'm going to get more comfortable with making more mistakes, not hiding so much. And I think over the last 3 films, I have been doing that well. Only I will know, and I know that I have consistently been growing with each of my films. The time to take the risk is, before the word action. How much of you are you going to let go? How much are you going to just have faith and forget, let go, and just be? So that is actually the moment where actors palpitate. That's the risk, not box office, not the release. It's that risk that actually matters, and that's what I've been doing more of.
Hello guys, this is Shubham from Koimui. Hrithik, we have been talking about your choices and how you choose your roles at length. But looking at the current trend, which is unusual because formulaic films are not working, the unique things are being appreciated and crowned by the audience. Tell me, what are the kind of roles you don't want to do right now?
The kind of roles I don't want to do?
Yes.
Are all the films that I have not done. I don't want to do films that are superficial. I want to do films and roles and characters that are deep.
Okay.
Deep can be even in a light-hearted film. You can find depth. You can find depth in the situation. You can find depth in. So how much, how deep are you thinking? It doesn't matter what you're thinking into. It doesn't matter where you're trying to find water. You can find it under sand. You can find it under concrete. Many places. But you have to find the water. If that script is digging deep enough and hitting. There was this comic book, Tinkle. Supangdi's. There was one tale of I think it was Supangdi, and he. Sorry, shall I?
Yeah.
He goes digging for water, and he digs in one place. He digs some 50 feet, and doesn't find water. It's going on. Somebody is crossing by, and he says, "Arey, why are you trying here? Try there. There's more water there. There's water there. So go there." So he goes over there and he digs over there. He digs 50 feet again. Another person there. And this guy's a priest. He says, "My son, don't dig here. He goes there. I'm sure there's water there. So he goes over there and digs 50 feet there. And sweet old lady comes along and says, Beta, I have news for you. There's water there. Go there. And so he goes there and digs 50 feet more. Doesn't find water. He comes home and he tells his wife that, I dug more than 250 feet in so many places and I didn't find any water. The wife tells him, if you had dug that 250 feet in any one of those spots, you would have found water. So that got stuck in my head. Choose your spot and dig deep. You'll find the water.
That's amazing. But for Pushkar and Gayatri, the last time we spoke, you told me how there's a sci-fi film you guys want to make. And you were about to get onto it. Tell me what's the update.
Really now?
Still in the very early stages of writing was also something which we told you.
You're going to get onto it soon.
Yes. Nothing has happened on that front since the last time we spoke, but
vibrations are changing.
But yes, we will get writing that very soon.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for that.
Hi Hrithik, so I'm Tanmay from Peeping Moon. In the last, basically actors or stars these days, they do not choose doing double or multi-hero films. So your last film, War, was also a multi-hero film, and your current film is also a multi-hero. So don't you feel skeptical while signing such shows or such films?
I enjoy two hero films much more than my solo hero films, because it's really about the journey and it's more fun for me. So I rather do a two hero film. Also, it's easier. It's easier. I'd rather do a two hero film or an ensemble film than a solo, because there's more for me to learn. There's more for the audience to watch. It's more fun, and I think I don't know why one would have insecurities, because your job is to do your part and your job to the best of your ability, and that's it. I mean, what more can you do? So yeah, as a student of cinema, I enjoy watching two hero films, ensemble films. I enjoy that. So why should I not do that same for my audience?
Last question. Hrithik, hi, Kumar here from PTI. One such actor who's always spread positivity, be it, when we talk to you or through your movies. But today when we see there is a lot of negativity in the air, be it with regards to movies, actors, cinema, does these things spook you, and do they have an impact on you as a person also?
Well, I don't know what negativity you're talking about, but
in general, the environment.
Well,
with regards to cinema, actors.
Negativity is important. I mean, it's the contrast is always important, day and night. Good, bad, and we're talking about grey here. So negativity is there to keep you in the state of seeking the positivity. It should nudge you to find the light, and which is why I always look at even that with positivity, because it's there to help you for some reason. It will nudge you to a better place. I think it's all good.
Thank you.